Hello and welcome to episode 14 of my altered book project, which is called Story Girl. This is really a kind of catch-up because I carried on doing pages in my journal even though my computer was broken, so I couldn't make videos, but I tried to take photographs of each step that I did so I can talk you through them. So with this spread I've covered it in ink and let the ink dry, and it's quite interesting that you can see the printed text showing through in a sort of coppery colour, like a sort of palimpsest, and it's quite strange because it only looks like that in a photograph. In real life it didn't look like that. I couldn't see it quite as clearly, so something's going on there with the photograph. But anyway, my intention is to do my technique where I use gesso and water, so you'll see that coming up in a bit. And this is showing you the ink. It's called Quink and it's by Parker. And so I drew an outline of the drawing that I wanted to do using white charcoal pencil. It's a depiction of the star constellation Matariki, or Seven Sisters, because it's this time of year when the Maori celebrate Matariki, which is effectively their new year, because it marks the change of seasons and the coming of the light, so the days start to get longer after this time. And here I've just poured out a little bit of bleach, which I'm going to use in a minute with Q-tips, and you'll see what I'm going to do with that in a minute. So dabbing it onto the ink, it sort of dissolves the ink and has a rather nice effect. Sometimes it reveals text underneath, but I just really wanted it to represent stars and constellations in the background and comets and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's quite a fun technique to try. And now you'll see I'm getting ready to use gesso, water on my artwork, plus an obligatory cup of tea to keep me going. And I've started doing the shading by activating the ink for the darker parts and the lighter parts. I'll give a link to my other video where I show the technique in more detail, but you'll see I've started it here. And I needed to go back in and do some darker lines, and so I used a dark black pencil called Pierre Noir to do that. And here is the finished spread with Matariki and her hair sort of spiralling out around the stars. I think I'm probably going to go back in here and thicken up parts of the hair where it's gone over the tape. It's sort of gone a bit transparent. So I'll probably come back in and finish that off. So this next spread is like an erasure spread, really. I've used washi tape to erase most of the text, leaving key phrases to be revealed, and it makes a completely different meaning to the original text. It's quite a fun thing to do, and I sometimes do it with gesso, but doing it with washi tape was really quick, and yeah, it gives a different appearance. So on this next spread I decided to experiment by using Quink just localized so that it would mean I could do a coloured background instead of black. So I've done the sort of simple outline of a woman's figure on the left, and the round circle is the basis of what's going to be a face. And here I've started to do the shading. This is like the first layer when you start to see the shading in the face. And this is the part I love, when you start to see the structure and the shadows and the face starts to look 3D. So I'm playing around with colour now, and I'm using different colours, and I've made her hair slimmer, less broad, because I think it looks better like this. And as I say, I'm just playing around with colour and shading and using acrylics here as well as watercolours, truly mixed media. So the circled text says change of mind, and so it's finishing off really on this spread. I've put those blue circles around the figures. I'm not sure why, I just like the look of that. Yeah. And I've put some shading on her face, I think, and you'll see a close-up now. She's not quite finished. I think I'll probably go back and do a bit more shading. So this last spread isn't really a spread, it's two pictures. So you've got on the left, you've got the lunar moth. I saw a picture of this. I don't quite know how I came across it actually. I think I might have been looking up the moon, the full moon or something. Anyway, I found this beautiful moth. I think it's native to Florida and parts of America, but it's really lovely, and so I felt that I really wanted to draw it. So this is what I came up with, and it's mainly watercolours and a bit of watercolour and gesso to make that beautiful pink along the top of its wings. And I've also gone in with white Posca pen at the end. And yeah, I found a picture of the caterpillar, which was quite amazing too. It's really bright green with sort of yellow stripes down the side of it as well. So I really enjoyed drawing and painting this. So when I came to draw this lunar moth on the page, I was delighted to find the word moth. It was synchronicity, which is really what I love about this way of working. And so I gessoed the whole page out and left that word moth, as you can see. So now this page, the last page, is a painting a bit like the one that I did in episode 13. I decided to deliberately this time use watercolour as an underpainting, and then use the flesh tint acrylic over the top. So whereas last time it was an accident that I discovered how to do it, this time I did it deliberately, and I'm liking it. I like the way that it blends the watercolour colours, and yeah, I just like the look. Really like using mixed media for that reason. So that's the last one, and you can see I've written down the side, mixed media rules, because there are no rules in mixed media. So I hope you've enjoyed this catch-up session of me chatting along and rambling on a bit. But so you're all up to date now with me and my journal, and so hopefully I'll be able to record the next spread, whatever that will be. And yeah, please leave thumbs up, share and subscribe, and come back soon and you'll see more altered book art and various other things. Meanwhile, I hope you're staying safe and well and enjoying your art.